Hi everyone, it's Chrissie and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. So today we're actually in Copperdale, which I haven't built in Copperdale in... Honestly, I don't even know how long it's been. It's been months since I've built in Copperdale. And we're actually working on another build for my save. So we're building the new library for Copperdale and it's actually going to double as a cafe as well, so you could have it function as either of those lot types. I did make sure that it does fulfill the requirements for both lot types as well. But yeah, so you will see that the cafe is it's not going to look like a cafe, or it is, but it's not. So it's not its own separate building. It's still attached to the library, and it's not meant to be a like come in, sit down, have your coffee here, you know, place like that. It's more just for, you know, going in, getting your coffee, and then either going next door to the library or maybe sitting outside. You could sit outside, there are going to be tables outside, or, you know, enjoying the beautiful park space that's right in front of the library. So if you guys follow me over on Twitter, and I think I posted a picture of it on the community tab as well. I can't remember, but I know I posted a picture of it on Twitter. I posted a little like work in progress picture of this build when I was working on it, and it was basically just a kind of like almost zoomed out shot of the build, and you could see the build off to the side, and then, you know, you had all of this beautiful park space in front, and it just looked so pretty. Like, I've never built on this lot before. Like, I haven't built anything on this lot before, and High School Years has been out for ages. But yeah, I've never built on this lot. I've never even had my Sims come to this lot, let alone built on it. So I had no idea just how pretty this little, like, I guess you could say almost like library park space actually was, because it's so pretty. I mean, the thrift and bubble tea store is quite close to this, like quite close to this lot. It's just, you know, I think it's like across the road or something. But, you know, I've built on that lot before, but I've never really looked around it, if that makes sense. I've looked around like the immediate like space around it, but I've never looked this far out, and it is so pretty, this park space in Copperdale. It's like, it's really, really pretty. Copperdale is actually one of the prettiest worlds I think that we have in the game. But yeah, so we're building a library and cafe, and I wanted this library to kind of have everything that you would need if you wanted, you know, your teenagers to come here and study, your high school students, or maybe even your university students as well. And I kind of like, on that note, I made sure to give it the teen hangout and study spot lot trait. I also gave it the peace and quiet lot trait as well, because I know the peace and quiet one is really great for libraries, because it helps your Sims to gain skills faster if they're like reading a skill book. And the study spot one is really, really great if you have students like high school or university, because it helps them to complete their homework faster. And it also helps them to not get as tense from doing homework. So they can work on like homework and, you know, stuff like that a lot more. So yeah, I thought those were great. And then teen hangout, just because I really wanted, you know, a lot of teenagers to like congregate around this lot. So yeah, that's why I gave it those lot traits. Now, something else I do need to mention is that if you guys hear any sort of difference in my audio for this video, that's just because I'm not actually in my bedroom. I'm actually sitting in our living room, which, if you guys watched the live stream that I did on Saturday night, you will have seen it, because I did that live stream from the living room as well. And that's basically just because the past week, like 2 weeks ago, they came and they had to completely replace the ceiling in my bedroom, like the entire ceiling. They took it out, they put a new one in, and that was to fix some water damage that we got in December of last year when we had like a lot of rain. My roof started leaking. It was a whole thing. So they came and they replaced the ceiling, and then last week on Thursday and Friday they actually had to come and paint the ceiling, and they also painted out my entire bedroom. So I now have a white bedroom, which is really nice. My, like, the previous wall color was this really ugly, like brown beige depressing color, And considering that my room absolutely never ever gets any sunlight, no matter what time of the year it is, you know, having like dark walls like that was kind of depressing. So having a lot of like big white walls is so nice. But yeah, so because they came and they had to paint everything, I needed to move everything out of my bedroom. Now, when they replaced the ceiling, that was fine because it only took them a day. Like I had to take my PC out, they took my bed out, all of that stuff. And, you know, it was just for that one day. You know, by the night I was back in my room. I, you know, didn't have to worry about, you know, the ceiling drying or whatever and not being able to be in there while it was doing that. So that was fine. But with the painting, they told me that they had to both like come over the course of 2 days, and also that the day afterwards I probably wasn't going to be able to be in there either, just because, you know, when paint dries it has a really sharp smell to it, and it's just a whole thing. It's good for ventilation to leave the windows open. I can't do that when I'm like sleeping in there because it's cold as hell. So yeah, I couldn't do that. So basically I've been sleeping in the living room since Thursday night, and it's currently Tuesday afternoon, and I'm still sleeping in the living room because I actually found I liked it. But anyway, like I digress. But basically I decided to try and set up my PC in the living room, which is something I have never ever done, and I never thought I would be able to do it just because of A, space, because my setup is big, I need a lot of space, and then B, because I didn't want to be in the middle of the house. I liked having my own quiet space to record, but I had to do it. I needed to be able to still work on videos. Even if I couldn't record, I could at least like build and edit and all of that stuff. I couldn't like be without my computer for like 4 days. So yeah, I did that. And then on Saturday, I discovered that I can actually stream from here. So I did a little live stream on Saturday. In case you guys want to go ahead and check that out, I will leave a link below to the VOD. It is still up on the channel, I haven't deleted it. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second, because I do have some news about live streams and stuff. But yeah, so I discovered that and I decided, you know what, let's try and record a voiceover. It's somewhat quiet right now, there's no one else at home. So yeah, and both of my pets are asleep, so they probably won't be like loud or anything like that, hopefully. So yeah, we're doing a little bit of recording, and I can actually finally record this voiceover because I've been sitting on this video for like 2 or 3 days by now that I've had it edited. But it's been so rainy. In case you guys follow me over on Twitter, you know, but it has been scary rainy. Like, it's been storming like an actual freaking monsoon, and it has been terrifying. I have never seen weather like we've had this weekend. Like, it was actually bizarre. Like, I've never seen weather like that. I've never seen winds like that. And it literally rained. It started raining around 12 p.m. on Saturday, the afternoon, and it didn't stop raining until I think yesterday morning. So like Monday morning, late morning, it finally stopped raining. And no, it didn't. I'm lying. It didn't stop raining yesterday. No, it didn't. It stopped raining Monday, I think like really late yeah, it was late night. So yeah, like late Monday night it stopped raining. And it rained for like 48 hours on end. It didn't even stop once, which was so bizarre. But anyway, because of that, we've had some flooding again at our house. We're halfway up a mountain, and when it rains this much, the water like obviously comes down from the mountain. We're in like a little bit of in Afrikaans we call it a kloof. I don't know what it's called in English. I think it's like a gully or whatever, but we're kind of like in the middle of a gully. So all of the water, like, we have waterfalls on the mountain now that isn't supposed to be there, but it's just from all of the rain. And that basically had a bunch of soil and water flooding from the mountain into our backyard. Into our front yard is like half of the soil in our front yard has been like just washed away. Half of the plants have been uprooted. It's a whole thing. And that's not even as bad as what's going on in the rest of the province. The rest of the province is an absolute disaster. Like, my dad was stranded in the town that his family lives in. He went there for the weekend, And he got stranded there yesterday because like bridges had washed out, roads were flooded, mudslides everywhere. So it was an absolute freaking nightmare. And because of that, obviously I couldn't record because the rain was so loud, like I barely slept, let alone being able to record. So yeah, I'm finally able to do that because it has cleared up. It's finally sunny and it's not windy or anything like that, so that's fantastic. But yeah, so we're finally sitting down and doing this video. But I can't even remember what I was talking about before I went off on a tangent about the weather, which is weird. But yeah, speaking about this build a little bit more. So first off, I did take inspiration from the original build that was here. So for this pack, I know a couple of game changers actually, not game changers, but like EA creators, which is what we're called now. They actually built the lots for this world, and honestly, I cannot remember who built the original library that was here. But it was a really great build. I needed to add more detail, you know, as I do. And I did take inspiration from the original build. So I took inspiration for the roof line. So using platforms on the sides, having that little middle piece with the glass roof and, you know, all of that stuff. I obviously did tweak it a little bit. I made it a little bit more my own. But I really, really like the way it turned out. I kind of like the shape of the original build as well. And mine ended up being a little bit more asymmetrical. So the side where the cafe is 4 tiles wide, and then the other side is 3 tiles wide. And I did that intentionally because I wanted this row of trees on the side, on like the smaller side. I wanted those row of trees with the little lights and stuff and the planters. And also because I didn't want the build to look too symmetrical, because that is something that I do tend to struggle with. I do tend to make my builds very symmetrical when I'm building something in this style. And I don't know, I think this is supposed to be like, I don't know, like colonial, I don't know, something or other. In my head, it's very much like typical brick American library building, or like government building or whatever, like red brick government building type stuff. So yeah, I don't know what style that would be, if I'm being honest. But yeah, so on the side we have the little cafe, which is just the bottom floor. It's literally just the cafe counter. I put in 2 chairs and that is it. All of the other seating and stuff like that is outside, like I intended it to be. But in the library downstairs, we obviously have the library space. I have a bathroom with some bathroom stalls that I also put a changing table in. And that might seem weird for a library, having a changing table. But I've been trying to put changing tables in more of my builds recently, more of my community lots, where it makes sense. Obviously, I'm not going to put one in like a nightclub, because why would you bring an infant or toddler to a nightclub? But in like parks and libraries, you know, places like that. Because in this one, I actually put in a little like kids corner, kids wing type space, like a little daycare space almost. And it's in the part of the library on the 2nd floor that's right above the cafe. And I did that because I figured, you know, if you have a sim coming here, maybe they're a university student, but they're also a parent. So obviously they would live at home. But maybe they're a parent and they need to get some work done, some schoolwork done. Or maybe you have a writer sim and you want them to, you know, just go somewhere else to do some writing, or a freelancer or whatever. Then you could bring them here and they could bring their toddler, their infant, even their child. And they could leave them in that little like daycare space. Now, there is quite a few things for them to do up there. I made sure to put in plenty of toys. I put in some kid skill building stuff. I even put in a playmat for an infant, so you could put them on the playmat. And in my head, obviously, you know, in real life, you wouldn't just bring your infant and then leave them in that separate room completely alone. But, you know, in real life, there would probably be maybe like a daycare worker, or, you know, just someone that takes care of the kids. Maybe they work for the library or whatever. And they would come, you know, maybe part-time and take care of the kids when they're needed, you know, stuff like that. So just keep an eye on things. But yeah, so that is why we have a little like kids corner upstairs, or why we will have one. Currently, I'm still working on the cafe, which is what I actually did first. And I tried to make it blend in obviously with the building, but I also wanted to make it look like it has been updated a little bit. So maybe originally this was part of the main library, or, you know, maybe it was an office, or, you know, whatever, and they've decided that they needed a kind of like just a community use thing, so like a cafe would be great. So they converted it, they renovated it a little bit, you know, maybe modernized it a little bit, changed up the wooden flooring, you know, added all of the cafe stuff, added the modern windows just to bring in some more light, because it is a fairly small space. So yeah, that is why it looks like this, and it is a little bit more, I guess you could say, modern. I tried to make the main library itself a mix of traditional and modern. So there's a lot of traditional items, there's a lot of like very kind of not fancy, but like what I would picture in a more upscale build or something like that, a little bit more fancy, I guess. But yeah, so we have a couple of things like that, but then we also have some more like, I guess, contemporary, I guess not normal, but yeah, normal items, like normal things that you might be okay with like teenagers having access to. You're not going to have like a huge leather, you know, office chair for your computers when it's a library that is going to be frequented by teenagers and university students. So, you know, stuff like that. I try to make it look like over the years, you know, they still have some really old desks, but they have obviously, you know, bought some new computer chairs, and they still have some old seating, but, you know, maybe they've upgraded or like put in new bookcases upstairs, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, I really like the way this build turned out. I had a lot of fun with it. It was one of those builds where I didn't really have much of an idea when I sat down to do it. I sat down, I planned out the like shape of the build, which is something I always do when I do a build. I always sit down and plan it out beforehand, and I'll plan out the shape, maybe the window placement and the layout, and then I'll go in and do it all over again and record my second attempt. But with this one, I planned out the shape and just the roofing, because I wasn't sure about how I wanted to do the roofing. So I basically did that, and then I just went in and I started building. And it was one of those where it actually flowed quite well. It flowed really well. I really liked what I was doing. I kind of just went with it. And I really liked the way it turned out. So I hope you guys will like it too. And like I said, I tried to make it as playable as possible as well. So I tried to tone it down a little bit with like clutter and, you know, things of that nature, just to make it a little bit more playable. And sorry if you heard that, I did drop something. I'm fiddling with something in my hands and I dropped it. And also my alarm went off. So yeah, if you heard that, I do apologize. But yeah, so that is basically the build, you guys. If you want to download it, it is up on the gallery, and it's completely custom content free since it is for my save file, and I usually do CC free builds anyway, but it isn't pack restricted at all, and that's just because it is for my save. So my save isn't pack restricted, but it is up on the gallery if you want to download it. My gallery ID is just ChrissieYT. It's always in my video descriptions as well, and I'll have a download link to the gallery website down there too. And then tray files will be going up for channel members, and in 3 weeks they'll be up on my Tumblr for everyone to download if they want to. But yeah, that is basically it for this build, you guys. I will have, like I said, all of the build information, original lot name, you know, all of that fun stuff in the description as always. But talking a little bit more about the live stream that I mentioned earlier. So basically that live stream was kind of an impromptu thing. It wasn't very much like, I didn't plan it really. I had an idea. I had the idea to do a live stream on Thursday night, which was really weird. And then I just decided, you know what, I'm alone this weekend. I have the time. Let's sit down and just test something. I mean, I've done live streams before where I've played the game, we've done some building, we've, you know, done all of that stuff, done gameplay, but I wanted to try and just do something a little bit more chill, because I was home alone. I just wanted to hang out and, you know, just talk about The Sims and, you know, just chill and catch up with all of you. So we did a like chatting behind the scenes type live stream, where for the first hour we basically just talked about anything, everything, Sims packs, you know, real life updates, all of that stuff. And then we went in and I kind of showed you guys a sneak peek at builds that I haven't finished, builds that I have finished but just haven't posted yet. I showed you how I keep track of my save file stuff, which was actually really interesting to a lot of people, seeing how I have a whole spreadsheet set up where I keep track of so many different things. And that was actually really interesting to a lot of you guys, which was very nice to hear, by the way. And then I just rambled for like, I think an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, about the lore that I have in my save. So when I say lore, I don't really mean Sims lore. Like, obviously all of the Sims in my save have backstories, you know, all of that stuff that I had in my head for them. But when I say lore, I mean like supernatural lore for like the vampires and werewolves and spellcasters, and I went so in depth with that. Like I said, I basically rambled just about that for like almost 2 hours. So that was a lot of fun, like getting to talk about all of that. I haven't really talked about that to anyone or mentioned it in any videos or anything like that. So yeah, getting to share that with you guys was so much fun, and a lot of you actually seem to really enjoy it as well. So basically, I will leave the VOD link down below in case you want to go ahead and watch it. So basically, obviously it was a live stream, but I will leave the live streams still up on my channel so that you can go back and watch them like you can with videos. And that one was almost 4 hours long, by the way. It was like 4 hours long. But I did go through and put timestamps in the description and in the pinned comment. So I tried to make those as descriptive as I could. So if you want to go in and maybe just watch certain parts, then you can definitely do that. So yeah, definitely go ahead, check that out. I'll make sure to leave it linked on the screen, in the description, all of that stuff. And then also, I do want to make that more of a like weekly thing. So whether we're just chatting or whether we're doing shell challenges, I want to start doing more shell challenges and room challenges and stuff like that. And then we can tour them on the live streams, which is going to be really, really fun. I'm really looking forward to that. I like live streaming. I never feel like I'm entertaining enough to do it. So yeah, hopefully this will kind of like solve that issue. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this build. We're going to go ahead and jump on into the game, and I'm going to give you guys a tour of everything. Okay, so here we are in the game. This is the finished library. Obviously, you know, like I said, this area of Copperdale, this little park space with the little pond and the gazebo and stuff is so pretty, and I don't know how I never noticed it before. But yeah, it's really, really pretty. So as you come up to the library, we obviously have all of the signs. We have a couple of tables for the cafe, a little chalkboard for it, maybe showing the day's specials or whatever. And then you come up, we have a little bike rack at the front. Obviously you can come in from both the front as well as the back as well. This entrance over here is more of a, like, I guess you could say staff entrance for the cafe. It's how they can get behind the actual cafe counter. But yeah, you come up here and you get into the library. So we just have a little entryway over here, maybe some, you know, trophies that maybe the town has won or the school has won or whatever that they have over there. We have a couple of different computers on this build. So we have 2 of these actual desk setups with PC, like desktop PC setups. But I also have a few laptops around the place. So I have 2 upstairs and then 1 downstairs that I put down mainly to make it look like Sims have been here and they've kind of like, they've brought their laptops with them. They have them set up, you know, they're using them. So downstairs we have still the older bookcases, so maybe these are like the original bookcases that were put in. We have a little fireplace with a reading corner, and then obviously, you know, the table where your Sims can study, do homework, all of that stuff. And then we also have the bigger bathroom downstairs, so we have 2 bathroom stalls, the changing table, sinks, you know, all of that stuff that you would need. And I love the light coming through here from the skylight up above. So upstairs we have this little like almost mezzanine overlook space for you to look down on the entryway. that's also where we have this big open space. So basically the third floor is just decorative. It's basically just the roof. But this is where we have obviously the glass skylights. And then I made this open as well so that it can shine all the way through, which I love the lighting. But yeah, up here we actually have 2 separate research stations. So these aren't computers, they're the research archive machines from Discover University. So we have 2 of those. We have another little fireplace set up. We have, you know, some chess tables that you would need for a library, a little reading space, some more tables for your Sims to obviously, you know, do homework, study, all of that stuff. And then we have the more, I guess you could say, more modern or updated bookcases, like, you know, maybe they've replaced the bookcases up here. And then we have that little like kids corner that I told you guys about. So we have some activity tables, a little science table, a lot of toys, like I said, another couple of bookcases, because I figured these would house all of the like kids books to keep them entertained while they're here. We have a little rocking chair and another little chair for them. You know, this is where you could put your kids, have them have stuff to do while your Sims like study or, you know, write or whatever you want to do on this lot. But yeah, that is basically the entire build, you guys. Oh, I forgot to show you the little cafe. So when you come up, we obviously have a little cafe sign. We have all of the modern windows. You can come in, you can sit over there, wait for your coffee, order your coffee, you know, all of that stuff. And then at the back, we just have a couple of like decorative storage things. I put in this fridge thing as well, because your Sims can come up here, and if they don't want to order from the cafe, you can pretend that they are ordering from the cafe if you want to, and have them like, or like buy food from this refrigerator. But yeah, so I'll show you guys how that works in just a moment. But yeah, that is basically the entire build. So I'm going to give you a quick little top-down view with the grid on and all of that stuff. So this is obviously the way up top floor. And then we have the second floor and obviously the first floor as well. So yeah, I'm just going to show you guys how this little refrigerator works in case you don't know. So basically your Sims can come up to it and you can buy snacks, so you can buy actual food from it if you don't want to hire a barista to tend the cafe. Now you can do that, you can just, you know, hire staff and they will come to the library and actually tend the cafe, so you don't have to have this lot set up as a cafe. You can have it set up as a library, like the lot type, and then just hire someone to tend the cafe counter. Or you can just have your Sims come over here and buy some food if that's easier for you. But yeah, like I mentioned in the voiceover, this lot actually does fulfill both of the lot requirements for cafes and for libraries as well. So yeah, you don't have to worry about having to add anything or anything like that. So yeah, that's very helpful in my opinion. But yeah, that is the build, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give the video a like. If you're new to the channel and want to see more Sims content, feel free to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell as well to be notified of whenever I upload a new video. Obviously, we have the new stuff pack coming out this week, which I will be doing something with it. I don't know if I'll be doing maybe like an apartment build or whatever. Hopefully, I can have that out over the weekend. But yeah, I'll, like I said, just hit subscribe and turn on notifications if you don't want to miss any of my videos. And also, if you don't want to miss when we go live, because I will try and schedule our live streams like 1 or 2 days beforehand. I'll try and have them up on the channel scheduled. I'll mention them in Discord, in our Discord server. I'll mention them on the community tab, Twitter. But just making sure that you have notifications on means that you will be notified of when I go live. And just make sure that you have it set to all notifications as well. That way YouTube should notify you of everything, like videos, live streams, all of that stuff. But yeah, with all of that said, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this. And just want to say a absolutely gigantic thank you to all of my channel members. Your guys' support on the channel and the videos and stuff truly means the world to me. And yeah, hope you all have a great day and a great week. And I'll talk to you all in my very next video. Bye everyone.